Hello everybody, long time no see. Now it might look like we're mining today, but we're actually doing something else. It has to do with this person. Since we haven't done any farming on this profile yet, we still have a lot to do and a lot of equipment to grind for. And I have quite the ambitious goals for this episode, and those goals are rancher's boots and a pretty much maxed out pumpkin dicer. Why the maxed out pumpkin dicer? Well, I just need something for the thumbnail, okay? It might not even be in the thumbnail, I just needed something to max out. Anyways, let's start with the quests. And now we just gotta wait. Something that is forgotten a lot of time is that since I'm playing Ironman, I also need to unlock everything via compost, and I can't just buy myself the plots, I really have to grind for them. Normally that would be really easy by just farming wheat, because you can use the wheat to actually sell or craft something, and then you can use the seeds and box of seeds as fuel for the composter. My personal compactor is only at level 4000, meaning I only have one personal compactor slot, meaning farming wheat is not an option. Another important item would be the rabbit pet, which is why I'm currently hunting down these guys. I'm definitely gonna let them be farmed by the minions, since doing this manually is a pain. However, first you need the materials to craft the minion, so we gotta do some manual labor. And there we go. And let's get this tutorial quest thing over with so we can actually start getting some customers. Because we need the copper to unlock farming tools, since you don't unlock the tools via the farming contests anymore, but via the garden desk. And that then means we need to serve as many customers as possible with good deals. And since we are garden level 2 now, we can just start farming carrots, which is a lot easier since they only drop one thing and that we can auto compact. So now that we are garden level 4, we can check how much that costs. So it's 250 copper per tool. And the tool we want, we can buy. We have the garden level, we have the crop unlocked, but we don't have enough copper yet. So after a lot of pumpkin farming, we now have enough pumpkins to craft ourselves our very first upgraded farming piece of equipment. And it's not even the final version, it still needs to be upgraded once more, but we can get it nevertheless. I also made myself the farm armor in the meantime. That's 20 farming fortune, it's pretty decent, so you might as well have it. The thing, however, I am talking about is the farmer boots. There we go, that's 4 stacks of enchanted pumpkins. And just by wearing these I get 20 farming fortune, or 1 farming fortune per farming skill level. Now eventually we're gonna upgrade them to rancher boots, which give me farming fortune and speed, and also some defense, but nobody cares about defense. I've also racked up 92 copper and got 2 more legendary visitors here to give me more copper, all with the end goal here of getting a pumpkin dicer eventually. Now I've also racked up enough resources to get the rabbit pet, at least in common version. So now we've got the rabbit pet in common, we can start leveling him, which makes the upgrading at Kate a bit cheaper, but he doesn't really have any abilities we need. Or well, some speed that's like useful in some sense, but 0.2 speed is not that much. And that's pretty much all I've had to say right now, and it's back to farming already again. Hello lady, I've got your 4 enchanted golden carrots. There you go. And now we finally have enough copper to buy the pumpkin dicer. Upgrading this to tier 2 is ridiculously expensive, at least for now. It costs 20 polished pumpkins, and the rancher boots, aka the boots we actually want, only cost 16 polished pumpkins. We just need to give this efficiency 5 real quick. And then it's back to farming pumpkin again. Now hold on, you might be saying, that's the wrong crop. Normally, you'd be completely right. Pumpkins aren't melons. But I want the melon armor. The reason is just that it gives 15 farming fortune per equipped piece. So that's an additional 45 farming fortune, which is almost a 50% chance of an additional drop. In the meantime, I've also done a lot of other farming. We have 3 polished pumpkins, 2 overclocker 3000s, which aren't really necessary right now, but might come in handy later. 32 enchanted melon blocks already, and the only reason I haven't crafted a melon helmet already is because I need a higher farming level. I've also gone ahead and unlocked the greenhouse, which is cool for mutations. The only problem being is that I don't know how this works and am too lazy to figure out today. What I wasn't too lazy for is getting a legendary rabbit pet. We would only technically need a rare one. The rare one would have given us 20 farming wisdom max, and if we really wanted to hypermax it, we should have gotten the epic one, since that gives you 30 farming wisdom max. But I had the resources to go for legendary. This only gives us farming minion boosts if we are on the island, which we almost never are, and we don't even have farming minions yet. However, I just felt like doing it, and now we have that as well. There isn't really anything else to say other than I need to get farming level 25 as soon as possible so I can start using the armor, and I need to catch a lot of more pests because each pest can give you 5 farming fortune for 30 minutes. Jesus Christ, that was a really lucky pest. That's a lot of them. Speaking about bonus farming fortune, you can get a total of 200 farming fortune for 30 minutes in exchange for 40 pests. And if we take a look at a tab, that's almost doubling our farming fortune. So that's definitely worth doing right now. There's also a lot of things we need to get for copper. We eventually want the builder's ruler because that's going to allow us to create more efficient farms. And we definitely want the equipment. To start, we'll get the lotus set, and eventually we want to upgrade to blossom, but the lotus set is expensive as it is, so I don't think that's going to be a piece of cake. Anyways, back to farming. We now have enough copper for the lotus bracelet, and we have also reached farming level 25, meaning we can now officially use the melon armor, and the first piece we're going to craft is the chest plate. And now, simply by existing, our farming fortune increased by almost 40. That's a lot. And we've got the helmet. And it's time for the final piece. Well, it's not the final piece, we only have 3 out of 4 armor pieces, but I'm not counting the boots because we're gonna go for the rancher boots anyways. Eventually we want to get the boots so we can put it all into the museum, but for now that's good enough. So now it's time to change the fields again and farm pumpkin. Did I say pumpkin? I meant carrots and potatoes. The reason is that we are gonna give these items to these 2 visitors, and that's gonna give us a lovely 166 total copper, which we can then use to buy 16 Sunder 1 books. And there we go, Sunder 5. So now finally we're not stuck below 300 farming fortune anymore, but we are at 400 farming fortune when it comes to pumpkins, since this also gives 4 farming fortune per level. And now this is a whole lot faster. After an agonizing amount of pumpkin farming, we finally have our 16 polished pumpkins. This then allows us to craft the rancher's boots. There we go. We don't get more farming fortune from these ones, but we get some bonus speed, actually a lot of bonus speed, and the ability to set the maximum amount of speed so we can farm more efficiently. And we also get farmer's grace. I don't know why these aren't on the normal boots, but they just aren't. So we've got that now, that's cool, that's an upgrade. However, now the problem is that we have to upgrade the pumpkin dicer. This is the current upgrade cost for 1 upgrade. We get the Pumpkin Dicer Mark II. Normally it's supposed to have an ability, but I don't know where that went. It costs a stack of Jacob's tickets, which is just barely within reach. I think we have just shy of that. But the problem is that it now requires 20 polished pumpkins. And the Dicer Tier 3 is an ungodly amount of polished pumpkins and Jacob's tickets. And now we have enough copper for these two equipment parts, both of which give us an additional 8 farming fortune. We also got an unfulfilled Jerry seed. I looked up the quest online and it's something cool, but we haven't unlocked everything and it's also only really for copper. So we'll keep it in the ender chest, but it's not really worth doing it right now. Okay, now there really isn't any more excuses. We just need to farm a lot of pumpkins. After ages, we finally have the pumpkins we need to upgrade the axe. 20 polished pumpkins is a lot. Now all we need to do is claim the rewards here, and then we can upgrade this guy in the following pattern. There we go, Pumpkin Dicer Mark II. Now sadly it seems that the RNG's ability is gone for these items, which kind of makes me sad because they used to be really cool. But on the other hand, we get a literal ton of pumpkin fortune. I'm not gonna max the pumpkin dicer. Listen, it would just take ages for this video to release, and I haven't released in almost a month as we're speaking, so I'm not doing it this video. I know, I'm sorry, I'm breaking my promises. It was clickbait, you can dislike. Okay, no, please don't dislike. Anyways, I got a cool idea, like as some sort of restitution. But for that, this tree needs to go. There we go. There we go. That guy ought to do the trick. And now for the upgrades. This, by the way, is the first minion that gets diamond spreading on this profile. And that should be it. That was a great start to farming, but there's still a lot more to do. There's even a higher tier than Fermento armor, which I didn't even know up until now. So we still have a lot of grinding in front of us. So if you would like to see that, consider subscribing. And until next time.